Family, welcome to Sacred Spaces Advanced School of Ancestral Communication. I am Queen Carlenia speaking to my Afro Rakanu and Afro Newt family, African Black family, no matter where you find us in the world, regardless of our ethnicity. We come from the same root. We are the mothers and fathers of humanity, and they try to erase our identity. And so I'm here to help to restore that. And I wanted to share with you something else from the Browder file, and this is on the color black, blackball, blackmail, blacklist, black market. Have you ever wondered why most references to color black have a negative or demeaning connotation? It wasn't always that way. The world as we now know it has literally been turned upside down. Many things which were once positive are now presented as negative. African Americans have been programmed to think that black is something to be ashamed of. It's strange that the people who gave the world culture, science, religion, and civilization know so little about their ancestral heritage. All we have to do is study our history, and the perceptions that we have of ourselves will change instantaneously. Black as a color has the ability to attract to it all rays of color and light. Black is an absorber of both light and cosmic radiation. It is one of the most powerful colors in existence. Our ancient African Egyptian ancestors oftentimes placed black capstones on their pyramids and obelisks, what we would call the Washington Monument. They call that an obelisk or a tekken. Um, they would often place the black capstones on their pyramids and obelisks because of the powers inherent in the color black. Some of the world's most sacred icons, including statues and other images, reflect the African reverence for the color black. Shrines of the Black Madonna can be found all throughout Europe. The large block of stone in Mecca, called the Kaaba, is a black monolith of extreme importance to the Islamic community. The facts are very plain. Black has always and will continue to be a source of power and influence, as the following list indicates. Solar energy cells are black. Dry cell batteries are powered by black chemicals. Judges wear black robes. Witches and warlocks wear black robes. Priests and nuns wear black robes. Graduating students wear black caps and gowns, and chauffeur driven limousines are often black. The scientific, religious, and social uses of the color black are based on time tested evidence regarding the usefulness of that color. Black is a generator of energy. Energy is drawn towards black substances where it can be stored for a determined period of time and used as needed. In funerals, relatives of the deceased wear black clothing to draw the strength and energy needed to pull themselves through hard times. Black as a color does not denote death. In African and Oriental traditions, the color white is used to symbolize death. Mourners cover themselves with white ash as a symbolic gesture of their grief. When a fire dies, all that remains is a white ash. Therefore, they believe when the fire in a man dies, white is the appropriate color to represent death. In military funerals, a riderless white horse symbolizes the dead soldier. On Mother's Day, millions of people wear a white carnation to symbolize their deceased parent. Even the Bible makes reference to death riding a pale white horse. White traditionally represents the absence of life. As we see annually in the dead of winter, the ground is covered with a blanket of white. All life ceases until spring when the snow melts and new life pushes up from the black earth. In the story of Snow White, she was revived from death by a kiss from Prince Charming, the sun, S-O-N or S-U-N, who traditionally is looked upon as being tall, dark, and handsome. In ancient Egypt, the god of the earth was represented by a black image of Asar, who was often called the Lord of the Perfect Black. The Greeks called him Osiris. As a matter of fact, the original name for Egypt was Kemet, which literally meant the Black Land. The ancient Kemetians, who are regarded as the fathers and mothers of civilization, referred to themselves as the Black people. This was written in hieroglyphic form as a person or persons standing next to a piece of charcoal. The way we perceive blackness has changed drastically over the past 6,000 years. What was once good is now thought of in a negative light. The negative distortion of blackness even applies to the foods that we eat. Think about it the next time you eat a slice of devil's food cake. It is black. Angel food cake, on the other hand, is as white as the driven snow. We must eliminate the idea in our minds that black represents evil and white represents good. To redirect our thinking, we must first recognize the need for a change. The first steps towards change begins in our minds. Change your mind and believe, or I would say know, that black represents life and power. Reinforce that thought with historical evidence and it will be accepted as reality. Black is indeed beautiful. Now, when he talked about the judges wearing black robes, I can remember being in downtown Baltimore in the courthouse, and I was actually in the lobby, and I literally heard a whisper, and it said, "Look at what you're sitting on." And when I looked, it was I'm like, this is like a church bench, like a pew in church. And then the voice told me to look inside the courtroom. That courtroom had a glass door, and I looked inside the courtroom, and it was full of these church benches, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I heard the voice say, um, look to the front, like look to the front of the room. And when I looked there, and I'm like, oh my God, that's where the judge sits. It's like the pulpit, the same place that the preacher stands. And when they dress up, like he said, they wear this black robe. The judge wears the black robe. The preacher wears the black robe. And then I heard the voice say, look to the right. Well, to the right was a witness stand. And then my mind went back to Wednesday night prayer meeting where people came to church and they gave witness to the testimonies. I'm sorry, testimonies, right? Because that's where the witness testifies. And I was just like literally blown away at the moment by moment connections that was being communicated to me. And um and then the next thing was, look at the jury, where the jury sits. And I was like, oh my God, you can't make this up. The jury is like the choir in the church. They're all singing the same song. Like, really? It was so, that was so shocking to me. That's part of a larger story. That's in my book, Soul Marked for Life. A riveting account of my connection to the ancestral realm. And I really for most of my life didn't even understand, didn't know who my ancestors and ancestresses were, didn't understand anything about the forces in nature that I talked to you all about, the abosom, the orisha, the vodou. We have different names for them in our different languages, but this communication is natural to us. And so when we begin to to literally move towards what is natural to us under the guidance of Mother, Father, God. We will reconstitute ourselves. We will begin to make connections between the things that we see and the lies that we have been told. They have made good evil and evil good. We are operating, it showed me, we are literally operating outside of God's jurisdiction, believing wholeheartedly that we are doing the right things. They sought to erase our memory, our minds about who we are. But it could never, ever be erased. So I hope you found something of value in what I shared today. Ashe.